Right now, just beyond the crosswalk, under the chain link fence, and on the roof above the deli, entire ecosystems are quietly doing their work. Listen for a second and walk with me around a single city block. On the surface, it's all concrete and people moving fast, but there's more if you slow down. If you let your eyes rest on the edges you usually ignore, tiny pockets of life start to appear, whole communities eking out a living with what the city gives them. Today, I want to show you 5 hidden urban ecosystems where wildlife actually thrives, and one simple change you can try that makes a big difference. Start with the places where the city falls apart, vacant lots. People call them blight, but they behave like accidental meadows. When rubble sits and no one tidies it, grasses, wildflowers, insects, small mammals, and birds rush in for seeds, shelter, and nesting spots. Those messy patches aren't pretending to be parks. Their mix of open ground and taller plants helps species move across the city like stepping stones. Cities treat lots as temporary and mow or clear them, but small stewardship moves, delaying mowing, setting a few lots to mature, let them become real habitats. Now climb a few flights up. Roofs were dead slabs a decade ago, but green roofs and living walls are turning them into rooftop oases. Native grasses and sedums attract bees, birds find nesting spots, and green roofs cool buildings and soak up rain while creating tiny microclimates. A decorative tray of succulents looks nice, but supports few species. Layered roofs with deeper soil and varied plants work like real meadows. The practical win is simple. Choose soil depth, plant variety, and leave a few undisturbed corners, and the roof becomes much more useful for wildlife. Down at street level, waterways and storm systems seem engineered and dead, but water, where it slows, still sparks life like algae, insect larvae, and visiting birds. Cities have buried streams and concentrated pollution, which fragments aquatic life, but restoring those channels helps fast. Daylighting streams, reshaping channels to slow water, and adding vegetated swales filter runoff, reconnect habitats, and cut flood risk. Ride along the rail lines and brownfields. They're gritty and legal gray, but those edges form continuous ribbons of habitat that slice through the city. Tracks need maintenance, but rethinking vegetation management, allowing native cover in low-risk spots and avoiding blanket herbicides, lets animals move safely. Cemeteries, churchyards, and old burial grounds are often undisturbed for decades, which creates mature trees, lichens, moss, and cavities that birds and bats use. If a cemetery is mowed every week, it supports little but small acts of restraint. No-mow zones, leaving deadwood, turn it into a real refuge. So vacant lots, green roofs, waterways, rail corridors, and churchyards may be small and messy, but together they form a network that cools neighborhoods, supports pollinators, and brings wildlife into every block. Remember, right beyond the crosswalk, under the chain link fence, and on the roof above the deli, whole ecosystems are waiting. Slow down, look, and try sitting with one overlooked spot for 10 minutes this week.